in hot water after he's kicked out of his Indiana high school. 19-year-old teenager played by Daniel Zolgadri and his Lebanese mum played by Lubna Azabel wind up on a road trip across the West for the first time. Hot Water is directed by Ramzi Bashir, and this film is his directorial debut, and Hot Water just debuted at the 2026 Sundance Film Festival. Hot Water is a very Sundancey, very familiar road trip dramedy that we've seen hundreds of times before. I think every year there's one of these road trip films every year, and I watch a lot of international cinema, and not just Sundance, not just American cinema, but every single country does these road trip dramedies, and this is just another one that is not particularly memorable, and of course we'll probably see another one. So by the time we see another one next year, we've already forgotten about this film. And it's not that there are some pleasantries in this film. The performances and some of the things that happen along this road trip are entertaining, but this film doesn't really do anything we haven't really seen before, and there's a lot of predictabilities and cliches in the script. The road trip is two characters. One, they're very different characters, and the mother, played by Lubna Azabel, she's very tightly wound and high-strung and easy to get angry and a little bit conservative. So every time they run across something like a little bit different or strange, on this road trip, she's gonna kind of sniff her nose against it. So that's very predictable, and there's some predictability in the characterization and what happens throughout the film. Like early in the film, we're introduced to a hitchhiker character for no particular reason. They're just having like breakfast or lunch, and then this hitchhiker character introduces into the scene for no particular reason, and you just know that we're going to see this character later on in the film, because otherwise why introduce him in that scene? It just doesn't make any sense. But also that hitchhiker scene that we're introduced to later in the film is one of the best scenes in the film, so it's kind of a mixed bag. Okay, it's predictable, but it does lead to a nice scene. And Lubna Azabel's mother character is just too on the nose with her, especially in the first half of the film, where she gets angry at everything, and it's a little bit too over the top. I'm not sure if it's Lubna's performance or if it's just the character that was written in the script, but you just know that every single scene, you just know how she's going to react, and it just gets a little bit predictable and a little bit cliched. And you just know that these two characters who are a little bit at odds with each other, by the end of the film, they're going to get to know each other, and everything's going to be rosy, and then the tightly wound mother is going to open her shell and be more relaxing at the end of the film. Because the reason why they're going on this road trip is because 19-year-old teenager Daniel, he's been expelled from his third high school, I think, and he's still in high school. He's 19 years old, and his mother Lubna really wants him to finish high school. But by the end of the film, she's done like a whole total 180, and it's like, oh, it's okay, you can come back to Indiana, you don't have to finish high school. So it's like some of the characterization is a bit iffy. But there are some pleasantries in this film. The road trip that Lubna and Daniel go on, it's quite relatable. Like, it's not one of those films where there's memorable scene after memorable scene. A lot of the things they had to stop at different cheap hotels and motels and different attractions on the way, and there's some very relatable things that happen along the way that are quite amusing and relatable. So that was entertaining. And the two performances from Lubna and Daniel Zolgadri, they do bounce off each other very well, and they do have a nice chemistry that you really do feel that they are really mother and daughter in this film. So that was nice, and it's really nice to see Lubna, a legendary Lebanese actress, Lubna Azabel. She has done some in American films before, but I think it's the first time I've seen her in a lead performance in an American film. It's really nice to see her out of her element and smiling and get she's played some really heavy roles in the past, so it was nice to see her let go in this film. And of course, it's not a Sundance film with a cameo appearance by legendary American actress Dale Dickey as a hippie type character that we get to meet very briefly halfway through the film. I give Hot Water 2.5 stars out of 5. This is a very predictable, cliched road trip Germany that we've seen many times before, especially at Sundance. But there are some pleasantries along the way. The performances from Lubna, Azabel, and Daniel Zolgadji, they bounce off each other very well, and there are some relatable things that happen along this road trip Germany. So it is a little bit of a mixed bag for me, but maybe you get some pleasantries out of this film. Thanks for watching. What do you think of Hot Water? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.